Hey guys, my name is DeGab and I like looting and leveling. For the longest time I've been drawn to games where you need to kill a lot of enemies, collect some loot, and then kill even more enemies. To some people this might seem really boring. To me, well, I can sink in hours and hours and hours into these kind of games. And there are a lot of games where you can do just this. One of the most prevalent genres which can scratch this itch for me is the roguelike genre. It all started when during my time in university I became aware of this weird little title on Steam during one of its sales. The Binding of Isaac. It was only a few cents back then and I began playing it and just couldn't stop. So it happened that I became the one weird student sitting in the last row of the room playing Isaac for the better part of university. But I digress. What even is a roguelike? Yeah, well, that's easy. It's a game that's like the old school game Rogue. But in all seriousness, the original name for the genre does originate from the fact that these games were similar to Rogue, but the genre evolved since then. Here's my personal short summary of what a roguelike game looks like. Let me get my sketchbook out. The principle is very simple. You start playing, kill some monsters, get some loot, kill a boss, get some more loot, and repeat and repeat and repeat till you either reach the end of the game or die trying. Well, that's not exactly the truth. In most games you can earn some kind of progression to your account or your save file. In The Binding of Isaac, for example, you can reach certain achievements to unlock different new characters or expand the pool of items you can encounter during the game. Another point that makes a roguelike is that each room or encounter is procedurally generated, so no run is the same as the one before. Now that we got the genre out of the way, let's start with the real topic of today's video. The little indie title, Vampire Survivors. I got interested in the game after stumbling upon an article online that said, "Indie game sold for $2.39 about vampires, looting and leveling storms the Steam charts." And because that sounded like exactly my cup of tea, I stopped reading the article right then and there and got the game on Steam. So, what do I think about it? Before we start getting into that, I just want to tell you that the game is in early access right now. Seeing this on any other game might have deterred me from buying it, but the overwhelmingly positive reviews reassured me to give this game a try. But now to the game. When you start it, you can already see that the game is really heavily inspired by the retro era of games. The pixel artwork is really nice and on the point. In the beginning, there's only one character you can play. His name is Antonio and he starts with a whip. The thing that's notable in the very beginning is that the whole game is controlled by only using either the arrow keys or the WASD keys. There's no attack button. All the attacks are happening automatically on a separate timer for each of the weapons you are using. Starting the game, you will get the hang of it very quickly. Kill some monsters, they drop some EXP, collect the EXP, kill some more monsters. So far, so good. When you reach a level up, you get the choice between 3 to 4 different items. These items are split into two categories. There are the weapons and there are the passive items. These can either be new items you have not collected before, or they can be weapons you already got and can now upgrade to its next level. In total, you can have 6 active items, which are mostly weapons, and 6 passive items, which increase your stats. Now that the items are out of the way, let's talk about the combat. Like I said before, the attacks are working autonomously on an internal cooldown. So for example, the whip whips about once every second. These and other stats can be improved by either leveling the weapon or getting passive items which increase your stats. Then, on the other side of combat, there are the enemies. Enemies in this game only hurt you if they touch you. So what you need to do is to kill them before they get the chance to touch, and in return kill you. The enemies spawn constantly and the waves are determined by the counter on the top. In the first wave there will only be a few of these easy to kill enemies. A wave takes exactly 1 minute to complete. With each minute barrier reached, there will be progressively more enemies with a larger HP pool and different sprites. The behavior is rather consistent among them, being they charge you directly. The game only ends when you die or when you reach the 30-minute barrier. That's when the game kills all enemies on the screen and sends death itself after you. There's one very important thing I did not mention yet. The developer added little bosses, which are mostly just some random enemies that were increased in size and got added a few zeros to their life pools. They have two different things they could drop. They can either drop a red EXP gem, which will give you a lot of EXP, or they can give you the best item in the game, a chest. The chest is always something to look forward to. Most of the time it will give you a level up to one random item you already possess and some gold coins. On a rare occasion, you can also get a chest with 3 items in it and even more gold. And the most exciting outcome is a 5-item chest. Just look at that and tell me this isn't hype.
Whoa. Stop, DeGab. When I get the items by leveling up and the EXP by killing monsters? What the hell are these gold coins for?
That's a great question. Glad you asked. Like I said in the intro, most roguelikes have a progression that is added account-wide and will aid you in your next runs. Gold is the currency you need to collect to unlock just those goodies. In the main menu you can press this little button to get to the skill shop. You can get all sort of great passive boosts there. My favorite is the extra projectile, which helps you with nearly every weapon and makes the early game progression way easier. Besides these passives, you can also invest your hard-earned gold in new characters with special traits and new starting weapons. Take him for example. He starts with a knife and has an innate additional projectile. Together with the additional projectile from the passive shop, this is really strong. But I wasn't even finished with explaining why the chests are so good. Yes, they do give you 1 to 5 items. And yes, they give you a lot of gold. But they have one more crucial feature. They can evolve your weapons. There are a few things you need to do beforehand though. Let me take out my notebook and explain. So, first you need a weapon. Then you need to upgrade it to its max level, which is level 8. Then you need a specific passive item in your possession. No, not that one. That one? Maybe. Maybe it's that one. Alright, that one differs per weapon. And after that, you can find a chest that will most likely evolve your weapon. Too confusing? Too theoretical? Let's make an example. Take the magic wand. You can see it fires 1 projectile at a time on a rather long cooldown. Now we upgraded it to level 8, its max level. You can see that it's firing way faster and has way more projectiles. I also got the spellbook, which can make it even better because it's reducing its cooldown even more. All in all, the weapon is pretty good right now. But wait, what is this? A chest? Let's see what we can get. Oh, what's this? Holy Wand, Evolve Magic Wand, fires with no delay. Okay, let's see. Oh my god, that wand just turned into a freaking machine gun. Pew 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 pew. Yeah, so anyways, this is how evolving your weapon works in this game. At the point of writing this video, there are only 9 weapons which can evolve. But like I said, the game is in early access and the developer is actively adding new items and new evolutions as we speak. The easiest way to check which item can evolve at the moment is to look up the achievements in the main menu and see if there's an achievement called Evolve the Magic Wand, for example. Now that you get how the game works, let me give you a short rundown on which weapons I enjoy the most and which one I enjoy the least. Let's start with my favorites and leave some place for my big ramble about one of the stupidest items I've ever seen in a game for later. I will try to not spoil every evolution here, so I will not take them into account.
Number 3.
The whip. The whip is the all reliable in this game. It's my go-to weapon when I need something to clear more effectively. It also scales really hard with increased projectiles, each adding a whiplash to the back or to the front and increasing its area of effect massively. So every additional projectile feels really awesome.
Number 2.
Rune Tracer. The Rune Tracer is one of the weapons you need to unlock by getting one of the new characters. It shoots projectiles which bounce from the edge of your screen. That makes them a mess pretty fast, and I really like the feel of them bouncing all around the playing field.
Number 1.
Garlic. I really like weapons that deal a lot of area of effect damage. The Garlic is one of those. It deals damage in a small area around your character, which can be augmented by passive items and skills in the coin shop. If you focus on the Garlic very early on, it can carry you really far into a run by just one-shotting every enemy that tries to touch you. While doing that, you get a lot of EXP gems and level up way faster than usual, because you don't need to stop, which in turn lets you get more levels for the Garlic and any other weapons you might use. My favorite by far. Now to my 3 least favorite weapons.
Number 3.
You know what? Forget number 3 and 2. Here's number 1.
Number 1?
Stupid freaking Pentagram! So, there's a weapon called the Pentagram in the game. When you pick it up, it tells and shows you that it is a full screen clear weapon. Sounds awesome, right? Yeah, it would be, but there's one downturn to this weapon. It really deletes all the enemies. They do not drop any loot. So you do not get any XP gems for all the normal enemies when the weapon triggers and thereby level way slower. Maybe that doesn't sound so bad. It might save you from a dangerous situation, right? Well, yes, maybe. But do you remember the big point I made about the best item in the game being the chest? Guess what? The Pentagram just deletes the chests as well. When I noticed that, I nearly quit my run. Then I thought, maybe, if I level it up, it won't delete the stuff anymore. And well, as you can see here, 20% chance to not erase item on level 3, 40% chance on level 5, nice, only 40% more to go. Wait, what? 60% on level 7? So 20 plus 40 plus 60 equals 120%? Do I get a chance to get 2 gems or chests per enemy? No. Turns out they are not additive, it's just the last 60%. So now, every time a chest enemy spawns, I'm scared as hell that the stupid weapon triggers and I cannot loot my chest. So being an item I don't want to trigger on my runs makes this the worst item in the game by far. Well, but enough rambling for now. Let's finish this up. The game is really addictive and fun. Getting in bigger and bigger assortment of weapons to slash through enemies is really satisfying. But there are also a few things that need improving. At the moment the game has only 2 maps and a rather small assortment of weapons and items. But I'm sure, seeing as the game is only in early access right now, that these things will come with time. Right during my time playing the game, it even got an update with 2 new evolutions, so I'm positive the developer is still working at this game. Maybe he will even patch the Pentagram to be an item you might wanna use. Please! All in all, the game is great for its price point. It's still missing a few items and maps to really make it something which you can play for more than 10 to 15 hours, but I mean, 10 to 15 hours for a $2.39 game is more than alright. In my eyes, this game is an easy buy recommendation. But if you are a little Scrooge McDuck, like I am most of the time as well, and don't want to shell out the $2 for something you never even tried, then rest assured. There's a very early alpha build totally free on the developer's itch.io page. So if you are not quite sure, hop on over and give it a try. I'm gonna link it to you in the description. So this was my review for Vampire Survivor. I hope you enjoyed it. I plan to review some more games, most probably some more roguelites. There are 2 or 3 I'm already pursuing right now. But if you have a suggestion for any game I should take a look at, write them in the comments below. If you liked what you've seen, the best thing you could do is to leave a like and subscribe. Also, I'm streaming all the games I want to cover here over at Twitch, so come and say hi. I would really appreciate that. Links are in the description down below.